Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. Today we've got some entitled parent stories and our first story of the day is by SpishieofHouseValor, entitled Mother Insults Me and Demands Her Way. Okay Karen. Having worked at an elementary school for 5 years, I can safely say that I have numerous entitled parent stories. That being said, there are some that stand out more than others. A little background. I ran 2 to 3 book fairs a year as a way to raise money for the library as the school had stopped providing funds for any new books, materials, etc. This story takes place rather early on in my career, during my second book fair that I had run. I had just received the shipment and was pulling the cases. Big, huge metal cabinets that opened to be the display cases during the sale. Into the library, chatting with a delivery guy. I signed the delivery papers and wish him a good weekend. I did not realize until my 7th book fair that he was hardcore flirting, but that's a different thread. So, kids milling about all excited because they know that the book fair is opening Monday, and the cases are here, and it's Friday afternoon, etc. Note that most of this happened in a very short 10-minute span. To preface, entitled mother is on her phone throughout the entire upcoming exchange, texting or typing between every word and glancing up. A teacher that's a friend of mine, entitled mother, and embarrassed kid are coming towards me as I push the last of the cases into the library so that I can start the setup. Teacher friend has a look of disdain on her face, and this was understandable as this entitled mother and embarrassed kid are well known and not all that well liked for a variety of reasons. Teacher friend said, "Hey OP, embarrassed kid and her mom were wondering if they could get in early to see the book fair since they won't be here Monday, and I was explaining to them that you weren't open yet and that the book fair would be open all next week, not just Monday, but..." Entitled mother looking at her phone, "I can talk for myself, Miss Teacher Friend." Teacher friend said, "Okay, sorry," steps back and crosses her arms. She's basically had it with this parent, and at that point we'd only been in that school year for 2 months. Entitled mother huffs, looking at her phone. "So anyways, me and embarrassed kid need to see the book fair today because we won't be here on Monday. So can we just look really quick and we'll pick out what we want and then pay you next week when we get back?" I say, "I'm sorry, but the book fair won't be open or even ready to look at until Monday. I just got the cases and boxes and haven't even had the chance to get them open, let alone set the fair up, but we will be open all of next week, so you can come see us Tuesday." Entitled mother, still looking at her phone, "That won't work for us, we need to see it all now. Embarrassed kid wants to see it before all the good stuff is gone." I drop down to embarrassed kid's level to talk to her since entitled mother is obviously not going to be much help. "Hey embarrassed kid, remember how I came to your class and talked to you guys about what the book fair was and the rules of the book fair?" Embarrassed kid says, "Yeah." I say, "Okay, do you remember me telling you when it would be open and that the only times that anyone could shop was when we were open or your class was coming down for their private shopping time?" Embarrassed kid says, "Yeah, but my mom says that we can go anytime and that those rules are just so that you don't have to do extra work." I smile and stand back up. "I'm sorry, entitled mother, but you both will have to wait until the book fair is open. And it is not open right now. It will open Monday at 7:30 a.m. Entitled mother, yes, still on phone, "That doesn't work for me." She then proceeds to try to push past me and into the library, grabbing her embarrassed kid by the arm and dragging her with her. Me, at this point in my life, I was 100 plus pounds heavier, standing at 5'5" and 272 pounds. No. I block the door. Teacher friend is standing there, mouth gaping, arms down at her sides in sheer disbelief, but is clearly at a loss as to what to do, so she does nothing. Entitled mother, still trying to shove me out of the way and get into the library, "Move the freak out of my way, my kid wants a freaking book." Me, frantically trying to make eye contact with teacher friend to no avail, finally I yelled to get her attention, "Teacher friend, can you please go get someone to help me?" Teacher friend comes to and goes sprinting across the yard to the front office, which is maybe 100 yards from my door, and goes in. "Freak you, you fat freaking witch, let me the freak in." Entitled mother, "I cannot let you in and you need to calm down. You are hurting my arm and are making quite the scene." "I don't give a freak, you whale." Finally, another parent steps in to help. Now this dad is maybe an inch or two taller than me, but all muscle and no neck. He puts his arm between me and her, wrapping it around her and pulling her back. I am able to get the door closed, unfortunately locking my keys inside, and at least that is no longer an issue to deal with. At this point, she is beyond pissed and very verbal to both me and him. She is calling us names, swinging at us, and in general in a very bad mood. The dad says, "Lady, you need to calm the freak down." "Freak you!" At this point, I have stepped away from the door knowing that there is no way that she can get in. It is a steel door that is closed and locked. Trying to get out of her line of fire. She is yanking on the handle, trying to get it open, parents and students staring at her. Her daughter is now crying, begging her mother to stop saying mean things and to stop that she can just wait until next week. I see teacher friend coming across the lawn with our maintenance guy. Older, not much help, but really great and gruff guy. And our principal, useless woman. The dad says, "Lady, just calm down. Your little girl is crying and you're acting like a toddler throwing a tantrum." "I can do whatever the freak I want. This witch shoved me out of her way, slammed the door in my hand, and refuses to let me in. And then she started freaking kicking me." At this point, teacher friend and dad all start laughing because they know me and know that I would never do any of that stuff. Our lovely principal, on the other hand, principal says, "OP, you can't treat a parent that way. Why didn't you just let her in?" "Yeah, why the freak can't you just let me in? All I want to do is let my kid look because she won't be here Monday." She turns to principal, "And this witch won't let us in." I say, "Whoa, wait a second, let me explain what's going on." "Shut the freak up, whale, just do what she says." At this point, I know that I am getting very close to losing it. I have, undiagnosed at that time, bipolar, ADHD, OCD, and severe anxiety. Add in that I am extremely introverted, and this is the one thing that has been slowly working to bring me out of it. Literally, my dream job working in a library with kids. I'm on the brink of tears, I am shaking, and my rage is slowly rising to the surface. Principal says, "OP, just open the library and we can discuss this while entitled mother and embarrassed kid look around." If looks could kill, I would be in jail. "Principal, I cannot let anyone into the library to look around when it has not been set up. I just got the cases in. Nothing has been moved to even be able to open them, and entitled mother said that embarrassed kid would be gone Monday, not all of next week, and..." "I said that she'll be gone next week, all of it. She won't be here at all. We have to go to her grandpa's funeral, so she won't be here." This right here should have been my cue to never step foot on a school campus again. The fact that parents can pull this entitled crap and get what they want pisses me off to no end. Embarrassed kid started wailing, asking her mother over and over, "Did grandpa really die? Did he?" Principal says, "OP, let us in now." I said I can't, my keys are locked in. I see our maintenance guy's arm moving by his keys, but I'm not sure what he is doing. Principal to our maintenance guy says, "Let us in now." Now this guy is older and gruff, but one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. He was always ready to help however he could. Maintenance guy says, "Sorry, can't do that." Principal, a look of murder crosses her face, "And why not?" "Misplaced my keys earlier." Smiles, "No idea where they are." Dad, teacher friend, maintenance guy, and I all have to refrain from laughing. "I am so sorry, entitled mother. We will make sure that embarrassed kid gets a book, I promise, and it will be at no cost to you." You cannot do that. That is not how these things work. Every penny and item must be accounted for. At that statement, my mind starts flying in 50 directions. Cue OCD and anxiety. My shaking gets worse and I step back, putting my back against the door. We have a huge audience at this point. Students, parents. "Darn right she will, and not one of those cheap ones, a hardback one of the good ones." She turns to me. "See what happens when you treat people like poop? You get pooped on." Big smile. Dad, who seems to be just as agitated as I am, but as sure of himself as entitled mother is, steps up to her, getting about 6 inches from her body/face. He says, "I happen to have seen this whole incident play out, ma'am. You have been nothing but rude to this young lady, treating her like dog crap. And now you think that you're going to get what you wanted in the first place because you threw a tantrum to get your way? And because principal said so? I may not be a Wall Street businessman, but this is not how those things work." Turns to me, "Are they, OP?" I say nope. Dad turns back to entitled parent. "So, you need to get back on your high horse and trot back home." Freak you, I'm calling the police. Dad laughs. The only person here that is a person and acting like one is Principal. She grabs embarrassed kid and starts to walk away on her phone. Principal to me, why couldn't you just let her in? Me, shaking like a leaf, it was a safety issue, it's a small library. 6 massive metal cases are right inside the doorway. Stuff is everywhere because I was trying to get what I could set up before the cases got here. They could have tripped on something or bumped a case or had one of the boxes on top fall onto them. It's a safety thing. And she said that they were only going to be gone Monday. I went over the rules with embarrassed kid in her class, just like I did all of the classes and students. I was very polite in the beginning. You can ask teacher friend or dad. She was pushy and demanding something that I could not offer. I won't be responsible for anyone getting hurt. And I cannot give any books for free. Everything is accounted for and anything missing comes from my pocket. I am not paying for an embarrassed kid to get a book just because her mom feels like she is special and should get special treatment. You should have assessed the full situation before jumping in and making promises. Principal says, crap. I say, I don't do stuff just to cause problems. Principal says, and we can't just let her in to look around. Maybe open the cases for her? I say, first, safety. Second, you'd want to do that with how she treated one of your employees? And last, are you paying for the book? Principal rests her face in her palm and sighs. Okay, With entitled mother stepping off, a lot of the audience cleared out as it was Friday afternoon and school had let out 20 plus minutes prior at this point. Maintenance guy excused himself, snickering as he went. Teacher friend scuttled off to her classroom. An embarrassed kid is sitting on the grass plucking a blade at a time just waiting for her mother to be done. I am wishing kids a good weekend and answering excited questions about the book fair, making sure to mention that we open Monday at 7:30 a.m. and that it will be open all week, etc. Entitled mother starts to walk back over, her phone safely back in her hands. Entitled mother texting or who knows. So I just got off the phone with the police and they say that I can push, yes, push, charges against you for what you did. Dad laughs, a good old belly laugh. Hold on 1 minute. Grabs a cell and punches in a few numbers. Dad here, explains the situation, asks if there's been any calls relating. There had. 1. Okay, he laughs. Thank you. So yes, this mother did in fact call 911, red-faced laughing, and our dispatch, turns to entitled mother, told you not to waste 911's time ever again with a call of that nature. And I, as a cop, would have to agree. Entitled mother turns beet red and her mouth drops open. The dad says, the fact that you called 911 to try and get your way in this situation tells me that I am dealing with a child throwing a tantrum. So let me dumb this down for you. You are not getting into the book fair early. Your kid is not getting a free book. Now, with all the authority invested in me as a freaking cop, get the freak off the school grounds now. Entitled mother grabs embarrassed kid and stomps off without another word. I spend a few minutes thanking him for his help and chatting with him while he waits for his kid. Principal takes the opportunity to sulk off. Dad's kiddo shows up and is super excited for the book fair, asking all kinds of questions, which I happily answer. Then I see maintenance guy slowly sauntering back my way. Would you like me to let you back in now so that you can get back to what you were doing? Smiles. I say, yes please. Nice magic trick by the way. Maintenance guy, jokingly, in another life I'd like to think that I was a magician. We all laugh. Dad and his kiddo wish me a good weekend and head off. Maintenance guy opens the door for me and I go into my sanctuary. I drop to the floor against the door and do some crazy laugh, cry, sob, shaking thing for a few minutes. Once I calmed down, I got up and began to get my library ready for the book fair. Dad ends up popping in several times throughout that next week, checking in to make sure that entitled mother hasn't tried to give me any problems. Principal never mentions the situation again, and I never see entitled mother again, except for glances occasionally across the yard when she picks up embarrassed kid. The last day of the book fair, the next Friday, embarrassed kid comes in with $20 and looks around for a while. I'm very busy as it's the last day and almost closing time, so I don't have time to get over and talk to her. I ask one of my older kiddos to close the door and lock it since it is closing time. Eventually, the only people left are me, embarrassed kid, and another student. Embarrassed kid comes up to the register with a $1 bargain book and hands it to me. I chat with her about her day as I get her rung up and tell her a little bit about the book. Embarrassed kid says, "Miss OP, I'm really sorry." I say, "Oh sweets, you don't have anything to be sorry for," in an effort to get away from the possible conversation. "I hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you next week." Embarrassed kid with tears in her eyes, "My dad says my mom thinks she's better than other people and that she does that stuff to show it. I'm sorry she was mean to you and called you names and lied." I say, "Oh embarrassed kid, it's okay. Sometimes mommies have bad days and do things they don't mean to. I am okay and you are okay, and that's what matters." Embarrassed kid smiles. "Can mommies have lots of bad days?" I laugh. Yes, they can. Being a mommy is hard work. There is a lot to do and sometimes we worry and that makes things worse." Embarrassed kid says, "I am still sorry that she was mean to you. I think you're great. I love the stories you read to us." I continued this back and forth conversation about books and the library for a few minutes while I got the other kiddo checked out. I let them both know that it was time to close and that they had to leave. Embarrassed kid, as she leaves, me holding the door open for her, "Next time there's a book fair, I'm not going to tell my mommy about it. I will tell my dad and he will give me money and we won't tell mommy." While I no longer work there, I still see my kiddos everywhere around town, and I always give Embarrassed Kid a big hug when I see her. She is becoming a lovely young lady and now lives with her dad. Turns out Entitled Mother was a drug user and she lost custody a little over 2 years ago. Embarrassed Kid is very happy and still very sorry for her mother's behavior. So I think my question here is, who do you feel bad for the most? Do you feel more sorry for OP for having to have dealt with a situation that was very stressful and basically gave them some form of a panic attack that left them on the library floor crying and sobbing and just trying to calm themselves down after all that? Or in retrospect, do you feel worse for Embarrassed Kid for really having to deal with this not only at the school, but in everyday life and the reality of having a mom that had those kinds of issues? Let me know in the comments down below. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know which one and why in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe if you haven't, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss an upcoming video from the Storytime channel. Every little thing that you do helps the channel grow that much more, so no matter what you did, thank you for supporting me right here on the Storytime channel. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time right here.